Assalamu alaikum and hello. Welcome to all my viewers and also to new viewers. My name is Samina Chughtai and I'm your host for today. Welcome to the Let's Talk Show, British Muslim TV. We're live here in the studio once again, here in Wakefield. We're also live on Twitter as well as Facebook. So, as always, if you have any questions with respect to the topic of discussion today, then please do not hesitate to ring on this number, which is 01924 231 083. Or you can also message on WhatsApp, which is 07585 835 150. So the topic of conversation today is going to be very interesting. It's about career coaching. Our guest is from all the way from Riyadh. He's a management consultant for King Faisal Specialist Hospital and Research Centre in Riyadh. Here he focuses on high performance and human resource development, which involves covering issues such as coaching, training, career development, improving recruitment processes. So, without any further hesitation, I would like to welcome our guest, Abdallah Aljurf. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Thanks for being here and thanks for giving me this opportunity.
Oh, you're welcome. And thank you for taking the time out, you know, particularly when you've had a long day. And again, I know it's very, very late there. No doubt it's past your bedtime, so you're awake for this show. So I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. So as I mentioned, it was just a quick introduction about yourself, but can you tell myself and also the viewers a bit more about what you do and your career, please?
Thank you. As you mentioned, I'm working currently as a management consultant with King Faisal Specialized Hospital here in Riyadh. And as you mentioned, I'm taking care of talent development, which includes learning, succession planning, career development, and performance management. And it's a huge function because we have around 15,000 employees, and you can imagine the different needs that they have, and each one of them needs to be developed in a certain way according to their job families, their specialties, their seniority level, and things like that.
Wow, that's an amazing kind of like role that you have, and particularly when you're managing so many individuals. 15,000, you said? Yes. 15,000, mashallah, mashallah. And, you know, how does that work? Is it several teams that you're managing or one team? How do you manage that?
Okay, that's a great question. We have 3 different teams, a team specified for learning, and there is another team for career development and succession planning, and the 3rd team for performance management. And I'm kind of orchestrating and coordinating and overseeing the big picture and make sure that they all integrate to give the needed results for our employees.
Right, mashallah, mashallah. And no doubt you have lots of experience in this field of work that you're doing. I think you've worked in so many different organizations as well, haven't you? And all that has been in management consultancy?
Yes, correct. My experience in HR is around 19 years. And I've worked in 9 different companies or entities, including international and national companies.
Wow, that is very, very impressive. And, you know, to manage 15,000 staff with the work that you're doing, that is really, really impressive. I think it requires a certain type of person to be able to do that. So I'm just curious to know, then, you know, with your role being so diverse, and so responsible, and no doubt being responsible for 15,000 staff. How do you actually balance it all? You know, how do you balance work-life?
Well, if you have a great team, such as the one that we have, and if you give them enough space and you give them your trust and you delegate properly, then just watch the magic happening and watch how they perform. And of course, you don't just give them the responsibility and go. You keep tracking their progress, asking them if they need any help, checking their KPIs on regular basis. So it's a mix of management and leadership.
Yeah, yeah. And understandably, you've probably mastered it to a fine art in this respect because of the amount of experience that you've had and also worked in so many organizations. So you've no doubt you've got the magic wand, the magic ingredient.
Well, I'm still learning, and every day has its own challenges, and I believe I'm still learning.
Well, that's really impressive. There's always room for improvement, but you know, to be able to manage such a large team, such a large organization, that's amazing. That is amazing. So can you tell me a bit about the fact that you're actually a coach as well, aren't you? You're a qualified coach and a trainer. So can you tell me a bit about what that involves?
Okay. Coaching has many types, and in the hospital, we have executive coaching, leadership coaching, career coaching, and outside the hospital, there are so many types of coaching. I specialize in executive and leadership coaching. Sometimes I do career coaching for special requests from special clients, and I do that in the form of either group coaching or individual coaching. Now, the difference between coaching and training is simply that when you train people, you are the expert. You have a certain set of knowledge, skills, or abilities that you want to transfer to the trainees or the participants.
Okay.
Where in coaching, you help the client or the coachee to solve their problems with your help. You just give them some questions. You have a type of conversation where you don't provide any solutions or answers. You just give them questions. You help them to reflect, to think from different angles until they find the right solution or make the right decision with your help.
Okay, okay. So basically, you provide them with the coaching, but through that coaching, they manage to find the answers and the solution to improve their performance themselves. Exactly. You know, so that's a very clever way of doing it. I can't imagine how you must do it, but no doubt you have the specialist skills, the specialist qualification to be able to do that. What qualification is required then to become a coach? Okay. You know, because I know there's loads of different types of coaching qualifications and certificates. But what is the one that's most prominent or the most influential? What's the most significant type of coaching qualification?
Good. Well, whenever you want to deal with a coach, ask the coach, where is he or she certified from? If it's an international entity or if it was accredited in your country, then you will know that this coach has at least the minimum requirements. One of the famous entities is the ICF, or the International Coaching Federation, and it has chapters around the world, and there are hundreds of schools, institutions, and training centers that are accredited by the ICF to provide coaching certifications around the world. If you want to know more about them, you could just go to www.coachingfederation.org, and you will find all of the accredited centers around the world by country, by language, by specialty. So you could easily check if there is an accredited center nearby in your city or in your country.
And no doubt, you know, this is the qualification that you've got as well through the ICF.
Yes.
Okay. And
in fact, in 2015, I established the ICF Saudi Arabia chapter, and I was the first president. And now it's growing. Alhamdulillah, there are many other presidents who came after me, and now it's growing in the right direction. And we are having more accredited coaches every day in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, yeah. And so that's, really quite impressive what you've done. So you introduced coaching to Riyadh, or did it then have a knock-on effect to other countries as well? Sorry, yeah, to other, cities and other places within Saudi Arabia?
Yes, well, I introduced it to, I would say, Riyadh and Saudi Arabia, and then other Arab countries. Some of them were ahead of us, like Dubai, they started earlier, and some of them came later.
Yes, yes. And so, it's actually a discipline or service that is much required, particularly when I think Riyadh is a business, what's the word, development, not business, I can't think of the word, but, it's core place for business enterprise. So it's sought after in Riyadh.
Yes, in Riyadh, the coaching business is growing. It's still a green field. The demand is much higher than the supply. So this is an opportunity for qualified and certified coaches to prove themselves, to put their fingerprint on the community and to contribute to the community.
Okay.
So, yes.
And I was just wondering, the coaching that is sought after, by individuals, is it something that is sought after by leaders, potential leaders, executives?
Yes. Nowadays, in the corporate world, especially in Saudi Arabia, there is a higher demand for executive coaching and leadership coaching than life coaching or relationship coaching. Organizations are realizing the importance of leadership development, and one of the most important tools to develop leaders is simply leadership coaching and executive coaching. And some of them are now bringing coaches from outside the kingdom, either from the States, the UK, Australia, or other countries. And some of them are saying, well, let's give our clients or our managers or our senior executives a chance to be coached by local coaches, because they understand the culture, they speak the same language, they know what does it look like to be in the corporate world inside Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
So bringing an outsider coach has its advantages, but it also has its disadvantages.
Assalamu alaikum and hello. Welcome back to the show. My name is Samina Chughtai. I'm your host for today. Before the break, we were talking about coaching, for which we have an amazing guest speaker, Abdallah Aljurf. So, Abdallah, the question that I have is, we were talking about ICF, the organisation that certifies you as a coach, which is the Institute of Coaching Federation, I think. How long is the actual the coaching course?
Come again?
How many years or months does it take for you to become a coach and to be certified under the ICF?
Okay, that's a tricky question because it varies from a person to another. The coaching certification process, according to the ICF or the International Coaching Federation, has many stages.
Okay.
So the first stage is to get an accredited course that is not less than 60 accredited hours. And this could be done in a week, 2 weeks, 1 month. It depends on the course that you are taking.
Right.
If you pass this, then you need to go and coach people for at least 100 hours, out of which 75 has to be paid.
Right.
Once you do this, you need to get 10 mentored coaching sessions. So these 10 mentored coaching sessions are under the supervision of a mentor coach, someone who's experienced, who could tell you what did you do? What did you do well? What did you do wrong in these 10 hours? Then you need to pass an exam by the name of CKA, Coach Knowledge Assessment. And if you do all of that, then you get certified. And you become an ACC, which is Associate Certified Coach.
Well, that sounds promising.
Some people take around a year to do this.
Yeah, well, that sounds promising. So then that means that it's not one of these airy-fairy simple courses. You're actually going to be, an experienced, a qualified, knowledgeable, a skilled individual, who would then be able to coach leaders and other individuals in the community and, particularly within the business sector, which is what you're doing at the moment. And hence, that's why you've got so much experience in that area of coaching and in the business world as well. Yes.
And the beauty is that in the process itself, you feel the difference. You feel that you are developing yourself inside and outside.
Really?
So you notice that the way you talk to people, the way you think becomes more systematic, more organized. The way you ask questions, the depth of your questions will be different before and after you go through.
And no doubt, it's a satisfying job to do the coaching that you're doing. You must get a lot of satisfaction from seeing your leaders, potential leaders and leaders, clients, executive clients, developing and flourishing and being able to use what has become, evident from the coaching session and use that in the everyday working life.
Exactly. And the beauty is that they feel the difference before and after the session.
Yeah.
Just after
brilliant.
1 hour, they could see the clarity that they have about their problems, their decisions, their path, what's the way forward. So it's really a powerful tool, especially when you work with a qualified coach.
Okay, brilliant. So can I just ask you about your company, 7 Aims, of which you're the founder, I believe?
Yes,
yeah.
I'm the
It's a coaching company?
Yeah, it's a leadership development boutique firm, and it specializes in developing leaders in the Saudi market. And we have a group of certified coaches who work with us. And it's growing gradually, slowly, but surely.
Okay. And the name is really interesting, 7 Aims. What does 7 Aims stand for? I was curious to know. Okay. So no doubt there's 7 aims, but I'm not aware of what those 7 aims are.
Well, I'll keep that as a surprise. If you go to 7aims.com, you will find the story behind the logo, behind the name, and where did these 7 aims come from. Even the logo itself has 7 shapes.
Well, that's very interesting. That's very interesting. I certainly will, go onto the website and have a look. And I'm sure viewers will be curious to know what 7 aims denotes, what that stands for. So what is the difference between career coaching and mentoring?
Okay.
There must be a difference.
Yes.
So if you can explain.
Sure. The career coach and the mentor have the same goal or the same aim, which is improving the performance of the coachee or the client or the person who needs the service. However, the mentor usually has more experience than the client. So if I am looking for a mentor, this mentor should be older than me, wiser than me, has more knowledge and experience than me, which is not necessarily the case in coaching. In coaching, you could go to a coach who's at the same age or maybe younger than you.
Okay.
Just this week, I had an agreement with a coach who's 13 years younger than me to be my coach in the next month. Why? Because I believe in his abilities and I know that he can ask me the right questions. He could have the right conversation with me. He does not need to have more experience than I do.
Okay. Okay.
So, career mentoring, in mentoring, the mentor is going to give you advices, do this, don't do that. From my experience, I've done this before and it worked. I've done that before and it didn't work. Where
Yes.
in coaching, the career coach will ask you, where do you see yourself in 5, 10, 20 years from now?
Yes.
What brings you joy? He will ask you some career-related questions until you find your path and define your career goals.
Okay, okay. And like you said before, coaching is about you not giving your clients, the coachee, the answer, but rather than the coachee instead will find the answer. Yes?
Exactly.
And coaching, is it long-term? Is it short-term? Or can it be 1 or 2 sessions? Is it very much dependent on what your coachee requires?
Yes, it depends on the need, it depends on the requirement. And we could simply say that we have transactional coaching and transformational coaching.
Okay.
Usually transformational coaching takes longer period, maybe 6 months to 1 year, so you could see long-term results. Where in transactional coaching, it could be 1, 2, or 3 sessions, depending on the need.
Okay, okay. Well, okay, and another thing, before I forget, which I think is really important for me to ask, I think you innovated, is it Aljurf, career coaching? Aljurf?
Yes.
Again, I don't know what that stands for, so can you please explain? Or are you going to tell us now to go to the website and have a look at what Aljurf stands for?
I'm going to tell you now. Well, Aljurf, of course, is my family name, Jurf. So,
all right. Yes.
Okay, so Aljurf career coaching model has 4 steps, JURF. So the J stands for job satisfaction. So if someone needs career coaching, usually I would start by asking him, what brings you job satisfaction? What are the activities? What are the roles? What are the jobs that bring you joy and satisfaction on the job? Once that is clear, I take the client to the next component of the model, which is the U. U stands for ultimate career level. What's the ultimate career level that you want to achieve at the end of your career? Either it's a retirement age or maybe after retirement. Where do you want to reach? Do you want to become a CEO? Do you want to become a minister? Do you want to become a consultant? Do you become a chairman of the board? Where do you want to be? So once the client has clarity about that, we move to the R. The R stands for reality check. If you want to be there in that ultimate career level, where are you now? Where are you today? What are your competencies today? What are your experiences today? What are you doing today? Are you in the right track or not? If not, then how can we help you to find the right path to reach that ultimate career level that brings you all the way career satisfaction or job satisfaction? Then once that is clear, we move to the 4th component, which is the F. F stands for finding your career path. Finding your career path will require that you do some self-assessments to know your strengths, to know your career ambitions, to know what works well for you and how can you move from where you are today to that ultimate career level, which might take you 5, 10, 20 years.
And it was just, And I was just wondering, you know, this Aljurf career coaching that you provide, is this what you provide to, you know, your executive coaches, and also to leaders? You know, is this what it encapsulates? Or is it aimed at anybody?
For executive coaching and leadership coaching, I use other models and other techniques.
Right. Okay. Okay. Right. Okay. Well, that's really interesting. So I was just wondering if people want to get hold of you or want to know more about what you do, you know, are there particular ways of how they can contact you? No doubt you're available on LinkedIn.
Yes, I'm available on LinkedIn and I'm available on Twitter, and they could go to 7aims.com and just reach out. I'll be more than happy to help.
Okay, okay. And I was just also wondering that, you know, what are daily practices that leaders can follow at home in their own time? of improving?
Sorry, I didn't hear the question.
Right. Well, I was going to actually ask you, well, the question that I've asked you is, what are daily practices that leaders can actually do in their own time to improve their efficacy and their practice? But I'm so sorry, we've actually run out of time. I can't believe it, how quickly we do run out of time. So thank you so much for coming to the show today. It's been really, really interesting. Lovely speaking to you. And viewers, please do tune in next week. It would be really nice for you to join us. Bye for now.